Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel Rudy's Realtors. I'm your favorite realtor Sitaram Gawas, and today we are back with one of the best projects of the market, Expo Valley Views. We have already made a video on Expo City before. You can refer to that in the link which is provided in the captions. But Expo Valley Views is very special. It is good for the investors and also good for the end users. It is basically situated into the 5th district of Expo Master Plan, which we are going to understand today in the entire throughout video. But before that, I would like to address some of the concerns which had in last 1 year. My digital journey going live in front of all you people started last year in October 2024. And since the moment we started, there have been many clients who came through our way. They asked us and we tried our best to guide them the best possible way to make sure their investment journey becomes the best and the most suitable one. Because you need to understand, investing in Dubai real estate market is now not that easy. There are many developers coming up in Dubai itself. Other Emirates are opening up. Kuwait Invest, Sovasinia Island is, Aya Residences by the Al Marjan Island is opening up their beach district this year. We are having Abu Dhabi where mainland is opening up with many private developers coming up to open their communities, and Dubai land and Dubai south of Dubai majorly looking at a major infrastructure change. So when all of this is happening surrounding it, there are many brokers who are also working in the market. And being very honest, I have received call from the investors telling me that Rohan, we have already bought our property here, but right now we are facing issue. Maybe in terms of resale, maybe in terms of getting the rental, or even maybe during the first hand approach of property purchase itself. Especially for the video I made on Mahra, it got good views. People actually appreciated it, and now I'm receiving calls where people are telling me we have watched your video, now we are confident about investment, but the commitments were done by the broker or the consultant were actually not meeting up. And that is where the good consultant role comes in. Now you need to understand, you're not making investment which is just of pennies, which is 1 dirham, 2 dirham, 3 dirhams. You're making investment which is in billions of dirhams. When you're making such investment, you need a credible person who can actually guide you throughout the way. We will tell you what is wrong and what is right, what is the exact right time when you should enter and in which exact community you should enter at that point of time, who has the analysis, the study of the market. And that is where our role comes in. The way we do our study, the way we actually go in the market, look at the entire landscape getting developed and look at the entire periphery where the prices are increasing, new projects are coming up, and we do our own study and we guide you better that what can be your suitable investment when you're considering to invest in Dubai. Because not every investment will follow through. I have seen people basically telling me that Rohan, we made the investment, but today we are basically facing issues because of these many reasons. Any developer coming up building a very nice property, but they don't have any property management team, your property has to go into a loss, because unless you have property management team, how will your property will be fetching renters, how will the quality will be assured after the handover? And there are many reasons to this. So that is why we come in picture. Me and Disha are here as Rudy's Realtors to guide you throughout the way to make sure your journey becomes impeccable. And I know you guys are hearing about lot of noises coming from the market, that the market is going to shift, market is going to see the breakdown, market is going to collapse, this, that, these reports, your friends, your colleagues, your relatives are telling you. But come to me, ask me the same question and understand how I answer to the question. And when you realize that the answer to my question is actually based on the facts, you will be able to know that Dubai market still has a scope to go in the future. It's just starting. Please try to understand, we are not in UK, we are not in US, we are not in Canada, we are not in India, which has a wide history, which is basically there since centuries to centuries. Dubai market has just started. It's just 25 years since the infrastructure started coming up, the real estate market started, and 50 years before the city started. The city evolved. So we are not late, or we are not early as well, but we are at the exact right time, at the exact right position, and that is where your goal comes in. My name is Sitaram Gawas. I am from Maharashtra, India, and I am here since last 6 years, and I will make sure your journey towards the Dubai real estate will become smooth, impeccable. Today with this particular project, we're going to understand why this is good for the investors and end users. Especially, we are only specifically discuss about the project, not everything. But if you wanted to understand why Expo City, because this is one of the best and my favorite master plans in the entire Dubai. But this project is something for you end users and also for the investors. We'll discuss about the exact floor plans and the location of the community. So make sure you're staying on the video till the end. Thank you so much. Now, Expo Valley Views is basically an apartment-based community on the Expo Valley district. Now, Expo Valley is one of the 5 districts among the entire master plan, which is one of the best districts. Why? Because it is mostly situated by the greenery on all the sides. The townhouses and the villas which were sold earlier in Expo Valley where the major success. They're getting handover this year in December 2026. They have an elevation from the main ground level of up to 6 to 9 meters, and also if you see at these 8 buildings, they're also at an elevation from the ground floor. So when you're on your first floor, you're not basically on the first floor from the ground, but you're actually 18 to 19 meters elevated from the ground level, and that is where the main catch comes in. You're also accessible to the main roads which are at the back. You're connected with D54, that is Hamdan Al Nahyan Street. So at the back side of it, you have that road connectivity. The front side of Expo City is E311, that is Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road, and the side is basically your Expo Road, that is E77. So you're in midst of all the 3 major roads. Especially when you are staying in the community, you don't have to go all the way across to the master plan of Expo. Rather, you have your main exit and entrance from the sideline from the D54 Hamdan Al Nahyan Street. But why this project is good? Why these apartments? When we have seen plethora of apartments coming up in the market with Imar, with Damak, with Sobha, with many developers. So why these apartments sets themselves different from anyone else? The major reason is we have 8 buildings and the total number of apartments are only 800. Yes, less than 100 units per building we have, and that is where the main catch comes in. When we have 8 buildings and only 800 units, it becomes very exclusive for the investors and also for the end users. And why is it good for the end users? Because of the floor plans. We'll discuss in deep about the floor plans of the community, but we need to also understand the amenities which are spread across the particular pavilion of the 8 buildings. We have multiple courtyards which spread across amenities, which I'll show you right now. These are the main set of amenities which are spread across the ground floor and the podium level of the community. Yes, on the both the levels we will have amenities which are spread. If you see here, the ground floor is basically connected with the podium with these stairs. Normal communities, what we have, we go onto the reception in the lobby, we basically climb up with the stairs or we take the lift and then we go on the podium. Here the podium is basically connected with the steps. It is more nature driven. It is more basically with the active life theme, and that is where this community sets them apart. This basically is a ground level, and if you go on the first floor, you have wide greenery on the entire courtyards, which includes your main gym, your satellite gym, indoor kids club, multi-purpose hall, indoor games room, prayer rooms, plunge pools, decks, kids play areas, barbecue and outdoor dining area, and along with that an events lawn area, which is only a part of your ground floor. But when you're on the podium level, you also have multiple courtyards in each of these buildings. The distance between the one building and the next building is not 15-20 meters, rather it is 45 meters huge. So you're not actually looking into someone else's balcony. You have a good distance in between the 2 buildings, and that particular courtyard basically has again satellite gym, main swimming pool which is looking at the community, infinity pool along with the lap pool, kids swimming pool, we have butterfly garden, we have peacock ivory, we also have one more communities over here which is the community plaza, yoga areas and kids play area. I'll show you a video which you will see that will amaze you looking at the amenities which spread across the entire master plan. Now this is the exact location of Expo Valley Views. We have altogether 8 towers all connected with the podium and have their independent courtyards for the independent amenities as well. As I told you before, this whole is an elevation from the main ground. So from the main ground level, it is basically elevated 10 meters above, and the same goes over here. Same elevation follows through. These are all the townhouses and villas which are in front of these apartments, which are spread across over here. And here we have the forest of the community, which is 65,000 square meter, which will have horse trail, gazelles, water body and equestrian club over here. So from here only we have a horse riding connecting path going across the community and coming up from this side. So this is something which is new. Along with that, from the same apartments over here, we will have view towards the entire Expo City. We are connected over here within the 15 minutes of walk, and if you don't want to walk, you can take a small buggy tour from here. Directly within 5 minutes you can reach to Al Wasl Dome, the Dubai Exhibition Center, and the golden patch which you see over there, that's the metro station. So this is the one infrastructure which is more commercial, but someone who is looking for a residential housing, especially a more peaceful environment within the Expo City master plan, then these apartments over here makes most of the sense. This was the first building launched Lana, and this is the Mahra building. This is the second building launch they did, and here we have the options of 1, 2 and 3 bed options. If you look from this point of view, all these apartments will be having a direct view towards the Expo City. Now about the connectivity, as I told you before, that you have easy coming in and going out from the community, that you are easily connected. This is your Jabal Al Habab road or the Expo road which is here, and this side is D54 Hamdan Al Nahyan Street. So you don't have to go all the way into the community of Expo, rather from here itself you have easy coming in and going out for the easier access of the connectivities. This is basically a typical floor plan of the building which they are launching. We already had one launch before, that was Dana, which is a success, which was a successful launch. Now this is the second building of the same cluster, Mahra, And let me tell you a fun fact. After this building, there's an announcement coming up from His Highness, and after that announcement, they will not be giving you the payment plan, which is very exclusive, which I'll basically share with you at the end of the video. That will actually make sense for the investors. But yes, after this particular announcement from His Highness, we will not be looking at the same payment plan, and rather will not be also looking at the prices which they are offering right now. But considering the fact what we're looking at over here is a typical floor plate. From the first floor till the 9th, 11th floor, we have 3 separate floor plates which has 1 beds, 2 beds and 3 beds. Only 3 typologies to focus on in the entire master plan. Only the 3-bed floor plan is the one which has the exact maid's room, which was the first time introduced in any of the buildings. We have seen launches before of Cedar residences, Sky residences, Mangrove residences, but this is where the place where we have the maid's room in the 3-bed layout, which is good for the investors. Now coming back to the individual floor plans, the 1-bedroom layout of this particular floor plan is approximately 890 to 1182 square feet. Show me a unit in the entire Dubai which has this huge floor plate for 1-bedroom unit. You have a simple floor plan. You enter from here. Your kitchen is basically U-shaped. If you want to make it close, you can make it close. Your living and dining area is 4.6 into 5.3 meters. And along with that, you have the bedroom with walk-in wardrobe, washroom and the powder room, and a small balcony for your leisure part. So very curatively designed floor plan of a 1-bed unit, perfect for the investors who are looking for good rental incomes but with the biggest sizes available in the market. Now this is my favorite 2-bedroom layout. We call it as butterfly layout. Good for the investors. Why? First of all, look at the size, 1332 to 1364. Typically, if you look at even Damac or Emaar or Sobha, the layout of a 2-bed starts from 850, goes up to 1100. That's it, not more than that. But looking at a layout which is 1300 square feet makes more sense for the end users. But why it is good for investors? I'll tell you now. First, this is your entry foyer along with your kitchen, a big decent sized kitchen along with your powder room. The kitchen also has a dishwasher, fridge and oven with cooktop hood. First is your bedroom on this side with walk-in wardrobe, washroom, powder room on this side again, as I told you before. The other bedroom with walk-in wardrobe and master washroom. Your living and dining area is approximately 5.25 to 5.65 and a decent size of balcony given for the leisure. Now why it is good for investors? When you consider Expo City is the location where most of the exhibition happens, right? This year only we have more than 600 events happening in Expo City. Considering the number of days in a year, it is 365 days. We are basically 1.5 events every day happening in Expo City itself. So imagine the number of people coming up. There is a study that in WTC, the World Trade Center, where events happens every year, now they're shifting to Expo City. Last year around 247 to 300 events happened in WTC itself, which had an amount of people coming up to over there was around 2.47 to 2.5 million people only coming to WTC for the events. Imagine with 600 events, we're expecting around 5 to 6 million people coming to Expo City for their stays for the events. When a company comes in, they always send number of people from the company, maybe 3 number of people, 4 number of people. They don't want to rent individual 1-bedroom units, but rather they would rent a 2-bedroom unit where they have 2 bedrooms on the other side and 2 directors of the same company or as in 4 people, 4 employees of the same company can occupy a 2-bedroom layout and basically will make good sense for them. And that is why I mentioned it to you that this is the best investor unit. Along with that, it's the best end user unit as well. And now let's look at the 3-bedroom unit. Now, as I told you, 3-bedroom is the unit which basically comes up with a maid's room. But look at the size. The size of 3-bedroom is 1800 square feet, a size of a townhouse which is provided by Damac, which is 4-bedroom townhouse. But yes, size is the best, which is over here. We're at a good elevation. The location of the 3 beds in the master plan is at a much better location, either facing towards Dubai South Residential District or facing towards the Expo Valley Views or front towards the entire Expo City at a good elevation. We have the typical floor plan where we have the foyer entering along with the kitchen, living room, dining room, the first bedroom, the second bedroom, and then we have the master bedroom which has the master washroom. These 2 bedrooms are basically sharing a washroom outside, but we have a maid's room along with the washroom and the laundry space, which is one part, and then we have powder room. Good decent floor plan with additional balcony, a decent balcony to again have the leisure of your life, but the perfect unit for end users who are basically comfortable in apartment living and looking for the better layout, a bigger layout in the master plan. And that's why this is my favorite project in Expo City today. We have 6 more buildings coming up, but Mahra is the best catch for you guys, and I'll tell you now that. the important point of the discussion for which you all have been waiting for, the payment plan and why it is special, and especially the prices we are looking at over here. Now, being a property which is basically on the Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road, especially within the Expo City master plan, we are looking at 1, 2 and 3 bedroom, 3 different layouts along with the best of the best sizes. That is, for a 1 bed the size is 890 to 1100 square feet. For a 2 bedroom size starts from 1300 square feet, goes up to 1700 square feet, and for a 3 bedroom the size goes from 1800 square feet up till 1900 square feet, one of the biggest sizes. You yourself can compare and tell me if you find any better sizes than this anywhere in the market, especially by a government developer like Expo. But the best part, prices. For a 1 bedroom you're only paying 1.639 million, for a 2 bedroom you're paying 2.577 million, and for a 3 bedroom you're paying 3.64 million. Makes a very viable choice for an apartment buyer in the Expo City. A very good master plan with tech driven community measures coming up in the future. And now let me show you the payment plan which will make more sense for you as an investor and as an end user. Expo is very famous for post handover payment plans, but once the announcement from His Highness will come up, these post handover payment plans will not be something which will be a reality. So this is your very last chance to invest into Expo with the post handover payment plan. And yes, by a government developer, we have a post handover payment plan that will basically save a huge amount of equity while you're considering the investment. And for the end users, you have a good amount of money you can pay after the handover, either through the rentals or basically through the mortgage part. Now, how does the payment plan works for you? Your first installment is 10% you do, along with the 4% land department fees and the Ukhud admin fees which you pay for the booking of the particular unit. And after that, we have the 30 days period when we'll pay 7.5% our first installment, on which our SPA will be executed. SPA is the sales purchase agreement we do with the developer, which basically saves you in terms of getting the hand ownership transfer from developer to your name, because you're making an investment into a freehold property. And that is why people are coming here from other nationalities to buy a property and own it, so they can inherit the property to their next generation and also earn a good ROI against it. And if you see the payment plan going ahead, you have 180 days difference in between the next 7.5% payment, which makes more sense. That is 6 months. With every payment you have timeline. So for every next payment, you always have timeline when you can basically manage the payments and do. If you don't have payments to manage, you have 6 good months to resell your property, which is a very good time to sell any property in the market. 6 months is by far the most, but yes, even before that you'll be able to resell the property. But if you'll keep it till the handover, on completion you pay 5%, which basically summarizes to around 75% of total property value, and the remaining 7.5, 10, which equals to 25%, can be paid after the handover in 1 year duration. And imagine something which is at 1.6 million today will definitely go at 2.5, 2.6 million. And with that, we have 25% to be paid at the handover. The ROIs will only cover this entire cost with the rental coming up from this property because of the mega events happening, the end user category homes, because Expo City is a master plan which does not only have residents who are coming there for residency, but we also have commercial people, office people. We have offices by LG, Siemens, we have Gratias, we have Nestle over there, we have DP World, Emirates shifting their headquarters over there under the Dubai Exhibition Center, and there are more companies coming up. You will not have any single day when your unit is not rented if your it is on short term, and you will definitely have the highest of the highest rental rates in the long term rentals over here in this community. So don't worry about this part, but especially when you're coming to the community with first 70% commitment, that is where you need to understand you still have a good payment plan which flows through every 6 months, perfect for the investors and for the end users as well. So that's all for something which we wanted to show you for Expo Valley Views. You can watch our videos in Expo City to understand about Expo City as a master plan, but if you have any questions, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to help you, take you to Expo City to experience the entire community and make sure your investment journey in Dubai becomes more smooth. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.